Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of On the Other Line Canada. For the 8 of you that watched the end of the show last week, I apologize. For the other 35, thank you for joining us. If you're out there, you're watching, give us a quick hello. Mr. Labradilla, you are already here. You're first this week. You beat the other two Scots. Welcome to the show. Hope you're having a great week, buddy. We have an awesome episode this week. And for anyone that saw it last week, I've decided that I didn't want my little buddy Mitch to be the third wheel again. So we're going to bring Mitch a little bit earlier in the show this week. So if you have any questions for Mitch or our co-host, Mr. Rikkles Fisher, feel free to fire away. We're watching all your comments. Scott, hello. Zach, happy to see you've been slaying the last couple days. Been watching some of your photos. Let's bring him in. Mr. Rikkles Fisher. Now, you asked me to call you Rikkles. First of all, Ricky, welcome to the show, because as you can see, I didn't change it on the banner.
Yeah. My screen is actually frozen right now. I'm hoping it's not frozen on your end.
It's not frozen at all. We can see you flipping us the bird right now. So
okay, that's perfect.
That's a real awkward way.
All right, we'll keep moving forward then.
That's an awkward way to test your screen, but it's okay. Are you still frozen on your end?
Yeah, it's all frozen, but that's fine as long as as long as you guys see me.
Well, we can see you and we won't judge you.
All right.
Welcome to the show. I know it's been in the making for quite a while, and you weren't sure what really to expect, but I think we have a good idea now of how this is going to go down, right?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, it should be fun. We're just going to talk some fishing and have a good conversation.
Now, I didn't ask you this in the pre-show. You do have a giveaway to do. Is it going to be the mount in the back? Because I have to ask you about that quickly. What do you have back there?
Those are two perks that I caught, actually. Jumbo perks. The one on the left there is a 14.75 incher, and this one is a 13.5 incher.
Wow. Both well above my personal best. So, and you're willing to share the location, right?
Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, we have to test you. That's what this show is all about. I have to stir the pot a little bit, right? So
yeah, you bet. It was worth a shot, right?
Absolutely. Well, we got some more people saying hello on here. Scott, Darren, Jared, Darren again, Wayne. Hi, Wayne. How are you? Lloyd and Bill Allen is on here too, so I know he's going to be probably looking to steal some of your tips.
Absolutely.
Just got to be careful to make sure you're charging for that stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, I gave him a few grayling tips one time, so I'm still expecting the bill for that.
A little bit of redemption?
Yeah.
Well, we like to do national days on here. We did National Teflon Day is today, and there's actually two versions of Teflon. Do you remember what they were?
No, you're gonna have to remind me again. I think Teflon is in a frying pan. Maybe that's about all I know about Teflon.
Or as I like to say, for someone that's doing stuff they shouldn't be that they get away with, we call them Teflon because nothing sticks.
Yes, I remember now.
You don't know anybody like that in the fishing community, though, probably, right? Everyone's kind of just civil to deal with. No one cuts corners. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It seems about right.
In that response.
Yeah. Well, talking about people that don't allow things to stick, including me calling him the third wheel, we're going to add him this week. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Mitch.
Have you recovered?
Recovered from what?
From me calling you the third wheel last week.
Oh, no, not really. My therapist says a couple more sessions, but hopefully that goes over. I don't know. I find myself wandering at night through the streets, just try to find myself, but
you'll be okay.
So long as you're clothed, it'll be okay.
Yeah, sometimes.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Well, Ricky, the show's all about you. Why don't you tell us about your passion for fishing and where you got it?
My passion for fishing really started when I was about 15 years old, and I'd hang out with my brothers all the time. And my one brother was really into fishing, and anytime we got the chance, we would go fish the streams and the rivers, and that's what really started it for me. Because after we would spend all day fishing, we would go to the campsite and talk amongst each other about all the catches and the stories that day. And just really what got the passion for fishing for me started.
That's amazing. And so do you still fish with your brother and stuff now? Is it like a healthy competition?
Oh, absolutely. It's not much of a competition. I usually beat him, but it's always a blast getting out with my brothers.
I feel like you've kind of thrown down the gauntlet. Would your brother say the same thing, or is it kind of a back and forth kind of scenario? Mitch is nodding his head, so
I think he would probably agree at this point in time.
well, we might have to pull him on that. Mitch, what do you think? Do you think he's telling the truth? I've seen this dude catch.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a rivalry, brother versus brother. It's got to be like,
yeah. Well,
versus friends.
He taught me a thing or two to start, and then now I think I've taught him a lot more things since.
Some fighting words.
Well, I mean, what's a weekly show without stirring the pot? I think anyone that's been on here has been able to appreciate the fact that I like to stir the pot just a little bit. Well, let's talk about your open water season. I've seen the pictures, and you sent me the pictures of this weekend. It looks like you're already off to a great start. Just some phenomenal browns. I mean,
yeah.
What has it been like for you? What are you experiencing for the start of the season?
Well, it's been pretty good. The first time that I went out, there was barely any open water that I could find, and it was a lot tougher of a bite. But this last Easter weekend, seems like a whole bunch of creeks and rivers started opening up. So the fishing was way better. The temperatures were way better for the bite to be on. So yeah, it's been good. I caught a brown trout, bull trout, Rocky Mountain whitefish, and one lake trout on the Easter weekend. So it was a great weekend.
That's amazing. It's actually, you said something to me last night, and I didn't mention this to Mitch yet, but it's very true when we're fishing. Everyone gets to see what you've caught, but not many people get to hear about how many you missed for the opportunity at getting that one.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
How frustrating is that? Because we know how my attitude is. Mitch is always Mr. Positive. What is your attitude like after losing the first few fish of the day?
I definitely am one of those people that talk about it until I land a nice fish afterwards. If I lose a beast, then I talk about it the entire time until I actually land one. So it definitely stings a little bit, but I just keep fishing until I catch one.
And it's funny because Mitch is kind of the opposite. I've seen him catch big fish and just go, oh, well, let's just get him back. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I get excited. Definitely. Everybody gets excited. But it's about getting them back quick. It's the major thing, especially with those big fish. You don't want to tire them out. Get them back quick. But
yeah, I still get excited like I did when I was 15 years old and I caught my first species. Never gets old.
That is pretty amazing. I don't know. I forget what page it was on, but did you guys see the photo of properly handling fish?
Yes.
You saw it, Ricky? It was actually pretty cool. Different methods of how to and how not to handle fish.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Very important at all times of the year, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say one of the most important things is having a big net that the fish can breathe in while you get your phone out for the picture.
Yeah. How big was that brown that you caught? I'd have to know.
I didn't measure it. I only measure fish that I think are going to be a PB now. But if I had to guess, it was probably around 25 inches or something like that.
Nice.
What is your PB?
I think it's, well, I got one from a creek that was 27. And then I got another one from a lake that was a little bit bigger than that, but I didn't measure it. But yeah, I'm really looking for that 30-inch. That's my main goal, 30-inch brown trout from flowing water.
I'm going to admit, this is going to be the selfish side of me. I have you on the personal best brown trout.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you that you're giving me a bit of an ego. I'm at 28.5, but I have a suspicion for what you're targeting right now. You're probably going to surpass that this year. I think 30 inches. This year is your year without a doubt.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Mitch, what's your personal best?
My personal best, I didn't measure. I caught them, then just released them. I usually don't have a tape measure unless it's in the boat. So there's a picture I got. He was big. I don't know how big. but he's probably the high 20s for sure.
Nice.
Oh, we'll call him 18 and a half. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Ricky and I are ahead of you.
2-pounder.
Bigger than a baby's arm anyway.
Well, Bill is just saying that he saw the brown jump for your dry fly, Ricky.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got that on there. Jared's also saying, great new video.
Thank you.
Your
Appreciate
videos
that.
are awesome, man. I know we're going to talk a little bit about technique and stuff like that on there. Christopher James is just commenting about the whole walking around, and he's even confirmed walking around naked sucks. So I think if anyone knows, it would be him. And
Yeah.
Jesse's checking in from Maine. That's pretty cool, Jesse. Happy to have you on here checking out the show. We usually talk about favorite species, but Rikkles, you brought up something last night that was pretty cool. So we're going to talk about that. You actually have your favorite fish, but also your favorite fish to catch are two totally different species. What are they and why?
Yeah, so my favorite fish in Alberta is the brown trout, just because they're like each brown trout can be so different from the last one, and they're just such aggressive feeders. Definitely my favorite fish, but my favorite fish to catch is the golden trout, because I only make the trip about once, maybe twice a year, and it's a lot of work and effort to get up the mountain to the lake. And when you get there, the intensity to catch one is definitely real. It's exciting. So that's why my favorite fish and my favorite fish to catch are actually different species.
That's amazing, Mitch. Have you done Goldens?
No, actually, we were supposed to go last year, early September. Aaron got me a heli trip into a lake, but that weekend it was just too many clouds, and I think it snowed over a foot. So we kind of got thrown off that, and we went bass fishing in BC instead.
Nice. Or Ricky, many people that aren't familiar with Goldens, when you say that there's a lot of work involved. Oh, you're ringing. You're popular. That's okay. With golden trout, I mean, you're talking about the work that goes into it. You have to be in relatively good shape and committed to make quite a haul up a mountainside. Am I correct?
Yeah, especially if you want to stay a day or two, it makes it about 10 times harder, because then you want all the camping gear and all the rain gear, all that stuff. And if you're just going for the day, you can pretty much have like a 15, 20-pound bag. But if you're going up for the weekend or something, you need like well, in my case, I usually carry about a 60 to 70-pound bag.
Wow.
Very fun.
And that's a huge elevation gain too, right? So 1 or 2 stops on the way up, I'm assuming?
Yeah, maybe 3.
Maybe 3. What is it, like a 3-hour hike?
Well, it really depends. I've went up there, and like there's 4 different locations in Alberta that you can get them, but I went up there with just a day pack, and it only took me maybe about 3.5 hours. And then I went up there with like a 70-pound pack, and it took me like probably closer to 5.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am unfortunately not in the condition that I will be making that hike anytime. Maybe Mitch will rent a Sikorsky to get me up there at one point. That'd be pretty cool. But I mean, it could be a bucket list fish for me, but
yeah. There's actually two of the locations you can take a helicopter to, so that's all something to look into maybe.
Well, maybe Mitch will buy that for me for my birthday. That would be
me too.
Oh,
since he's filling out the wallet, I'll come along too.
You guys are crazy.
Hey man, you didn't want to be the third wheel anymore, so here you are.
Yeah. Hey, buy my fishing trip. Hey, you can be on for the whole show now.
From third wheel to pinata in 1 week, buddy. Welcome to the party. That's hilarious. Chris, you're right. My personal best is 28.5. That's right. Greg Rice is jealous of your mount, Ricky. Adam Turnbull checking in. Scott Nadeau. Lots of comments from Bill. And yes, Colton is late. So Colton, if you want to donate $5,000 to a charity of our choice for being late, that would be awesome. I appreciate that, Colton. You're a good man. We'll all hold you to that. It's recorded now. We'll have Ricky follow up with you after the show.
You bet.
Well, Ricky, let's talk favorite tackle. You're going to give us some tips and tricks of what you brought that you like to use on the water, and everyone's going to sit here and take notes. I can guarantee you that. What did you bring?
All right. So my top 3 baits for early spring creek and river fishing are, well, the first one is the white jig. Everyone knows the white jig, and I'm not impartial to hair jig or tube jig or like a double tail. As long as it's a white jig and it's heavy and you can get it down there, that's pretty much all you need. It's definitely a go-to. And my second go-to bait would have to be the Panther Martin or any inline spinner that's gold. And I like using that one because we can target the smaller species like Rocky Mountain whitefish and brook trout. So that's great for that. And my third and final favorite spring, river, and creek bait is the X-Wrap or the floating wrap. It doesn't really make a difference. I just like the ones that kind of float and suspend versus sink.
Yeah.
So those are my three favorites.
Well, I think everybody, you're right, has the white tube jig in their tackle box in one form or another. The Panther Martin, do you have a size you prefer? Do you, like, I know with a lot of the smaller bodies of water, are we talking like a size 3 somewhere in there or a little bit larger?
If I could only pick one size, it would be the size 6 because you can get it down in deeper water. And you can also use it for like even 8-inch brook trout and tiny little creeks. They'll smash a size 6 spinner. So I don't even really like using the smaller ones than that.
Too much work.
Too much work. It's harder to cast out. They don't spin as well.
Yeah. And then with the X-Wrap, I mean, I actually use them too. I don't think I use the floating one, but what about countdowns? Have you used countdowns much at all? I'm assuming you probably have.
I have, but I'd say they're probably my least favorite out of all the crankbaits, just because they're only deep for like deep diving, deeper waters. I snag up on the shallower creeks with them a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd say countdowns are probably my least favorite, but they do come in handy in certain situations for sure.
Yep. That's actually some really good info because we haven't really talked a lot of small stream stuff on here, and it's good because if there's one thing I'm the master of, it's catching sticks. I've actually perfected the form.
Yeah. A 3-pounder.
Yeah, a 3-pounder, exactly. Mitch, I'm assuming you probably have the majority of that stuff in your tackle box, right?
Yeah, definitely. I love the Panther Martin too, but I go the silver and orange. It's always good. One of my favorites. Then the live target, little brown trout, just a machine always. These things move so good, and it doesn't float, but you keep a high rod tip. I usually run like 6-foot rod at least. I think my ultralight's a 9, and then I run 4-pound line, and I try to keep it as high as possible. But in those shallower spots, you got to run something better, like a floating hook, definitely.
Yeah. And one point I should make with spinners is I find in clear water, silver works better, and in murkier water, gold works better. That's just a personal preference anyways.
Right. Yeah, actually, it's funny you mentioned the gold. I know Mr. Labradilla is on here, or I hope he is. Can you do me a favor and post the company that was making the spinners that you gave me? Because, of course, in my usual fashion of not being prepared, I didn't bring one. But it's a gold spinner, and we've been using it, and it's amazing. But one that neither one of you brought up for a pattern that's my favorite go-to is a perch pattern. And I have actually found that for the last 2 years, especially for targeting brown trout, I run a jointed minnow in a perch pattern, and that's how I catch the majority of all my trout.
Nice. Yeah.
And I didn't bring it so that we couldn't have Greg Grace on here taking notes because I know he's an aspiring brown trout fisherman. So
it's okay. My screen's frozen anyway, so I wouldn't be able to see it.
You're still frozen.
It's still frozen. I'm just going blind for this.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you're doing an awesome job then.
Awesome.
What'd you say, Mitch?
Oh, going Stevie Wonder over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Should just put your shades on.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks that's happening, but if it does make you feel better, none of us notice any different on here. So,
all right, perfect.
You must be doing something right.
Yeah, well, in my world, you're just staring right at your screen, and he's staring at a decal on the side there. Good enough.
He's staring at something shiny off to the side of the room.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows that, but
Sounds like normal anyways.
counting spiders, right, Mitch?
What? Oh, sorry, I was looking at something in the corner.
And I have Greg on here confirming that I have caught a tree even when I'm ice fishing. That actually happened on Cold Lake. So I think for anyone to be able to catch a tree at, 80 to 100 feet, that's talent in itself.
That's impressive.
Just saying, no pressure. I'm beating you on a few categories, Ricky. So, I mean, you're going to have to really step it up this year. I think it's time you really put yourself all out there.
I'll snag a few for you this year.
Sure, why not? Done deal. We were talking a little bit about smaller streams earlier in the show and how it is something that we haven't really talked about a whole lot. Anyone that sees your videos, I think, can appreciate the fact that it does take a bit of talent. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience in fishing those small streams? And the reason I bring it up is a lot of people might look at some of these bodies of water and not even think to fish them.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it. There's so many tributaries of bigger rivers that larger fish can actually move into that people just completely don't even think about. And like, for example, there's some rivers that I fish in certain times of the year that the bull trout will move up in a super shallow creeks, and you can sight fish them, and they're like 24 or 26-inch bull trout, and it's just a blast. And another thing with creek fishing I find is you got to be like very, very sneaky, especially for the big finicky predators that are used to seeing hooks. You definitely want to be sneaky. You got to be paying attention to the sun and shadow, and don't just come run in onto the stream, crunching rocks and leaves along the way. Mm-hmm. Definitely got to keep it sneaky.
That's one thing I'm not good at. Mitch, You've seen it.
Oh, just coming through like a bull in a china shop. But, yeah, like you said, they feel that vibration, like cut banks and everything, especially browns. Like, you pretty much just knee crawl to those things and just make your cast. I know there's those overhanging banks and there's trees overhanging, and you're just kind of like leaning over, doing that one-hander, throwing it under that tree. Mm-hmm. So you gotta be super cautious.
Absolutely. And if you can set yourself up for like a straight long cast and try and hit water that you haven't even made any noise around, that's another technique that seems to work good.
Definitely.
How long have you found it takes you to get used to that? Because obviously you're not putting a lot of power into your casting. It's going to become more of a finesse style of fishing. I mean, what is it like as far as the struggle? Like you mentioned, you lose a lot of fish as well. Do you find that it really becomes hard to adjust if you're used to fishing larger waters?
Well, anyone who's watched my videos knows that I'm an extremely strange caster. I cast upside down, and I find it helps me for the streams because I'm able to stop my bail quicker versus being on the bottom part of the rod.
Upside down?
Yeah, I cast upside down. I reel normal with my reel below, but when I cast, it's upside down. My reel is on top.
Huh.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say right now.
it's strange, but I'll tell you what, it's worked for me for many years, and I'm able to stop my cast a lot quicker, and I find I got better accuracy, and I can cast further than like I've had casting contests with people using that technique, and it seems to come off the bail a little bit easier. That's maybe that's just me, but I don't know.
I don't even know if I want to say I want to try that, but it's actually pretty interesting. I don't think that's anything I've really heard of anyone doing. So
I haven't seen anyone else do it. Not one person.
So do you get lots of comments when guys go fishing with you? Like,
I've got comments. Yeah, like there's that meme that goes around. Oh, sorry about that. There's that meme that goes around about people reeling upside down.
Yeah,
I've got tagged in that many times.
Mitch, did you know that about Rikkles? Is that something you would have ever entertained? You would see somebody do?
No, I don't. I know. I'm shocked. In awe. I don't know. It changed my whole perspective on casting now.
Next time you watch one of my videos, just if you pay attention, you'll see it. It's very strange, but Seems to work for me.
Yeah, Kit's on here. He's saying the one and only. It's I mean,
Kit.
part of me wants to try it, but part of me knows that I probably would. Have you always casted like that?
Yeah, pretty much. I did when I first started fishing. I tried using my index finger with the reel below the rod, but I find my finger catches on the line sometimes, and I just didn't have as good accuracy as I did the other way. So I made a point to keep doing it that way.
I have to make a point to come to fishing with you because I've got to see this, man. I'm kind of intrigued right now. So,
well, you're welcome to join sometime. We'll go for grayling this year or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Just send me some pins, and I'll figure out which spot I can meet you at, and we'll get something set up. That's how it works, right?
Not quite.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. That's just rumor. Mitch taught me that.
No, that's greasy.
Greasy.
Greasy doesn't exist, Mitch. It's National Teflon Day.
You still got to screw that into something.
It just slips right off.
You meet the person in a nearby town, and then you blindfold them on the way out to the river.
Let's talk about that later in the show when we talk about one of the other topics based on what you just said. It's not kidnapping, really, is it?
No.
Well, we got more people
volunteering for it.
Well, why not? For the opportunity to watch you cast upside down, let's do it. I'm in. What do we got? We got Angling Spiders. Hello, checking in on YouTube. Mr. Ziegler, he is agreeing with you. Small stream fishing is the best.
Absolutely, it's my favorite.
And big surprise, Mr. Positive Bill Allen saying that you're a salt of the earth guy when it comes to fishing ethics and top notch 100%.
Appreciate that, Bill. Thank you.
I mean, no one really knows who this Bill guy is. It could be a fake account, or you might have paid someone to say that. I'm not sure. It's not a name I'm familiar with on the show. So
the guy dove under the ice for his phone. He's a legend.
Right? Anyone that hasn't seen that video, I think.
Yeah, check it out.
Is he crazy? Is he cool?
The double pike release too.
The double pike release, right?
Under the ice.
I was actually going to do that this year, but I never caught a decent pike, and I can't swim, so I picked the best hobby to be in, being a non. Can you swim, Ricky?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I'm outnumbered. I know Mitch can. Dude swims like a fish.
I can swim like a fish.
I can swim like a rock. I'm pretty good at it.
But can you skip like a rock?
Oh, I can skip. I was all-state skipper in high school, bud.
Oh, yeah? It sounds like some bass fishing, dock fishing.
I can skip like the wind, Mitch. Well, Rikkles, you brought it up last night because you were convinced I was going to bring it up, and then you give me $20 to bring it up.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things I actually love about your videos, because I think it just separates you from the pack. I mean, you're on YouTube. We'll talk about how people can check you out a little bit more. You involve your companions, which is your cats. Now, what has your experience been? Do you get flack from people, or do they legitimately want to know what your experience is? Because, I mean, in one, I think your cat went for a swim, did it not?
Yeah, it sure did. Actually, 99% of people think it is hilarious. And that's the entire reason I started bringing them fishing, is because I thought it was hilarious. I thought, hey, if I bring my cat fishing, people should get a laugh out of this. And they did. So I brought them fishing maybe 4 or 5 times. It's always a good time.
Do you find they're harder to control than dogs? For me, I'm not a cat person, so I'm interested to know. I see lots of people bring their dogs fishing, but not many bring their cats.
Well, it depends. Like, I got 2 cats, and the male, he is definitely kind of a pain to bring fishing. He doesn't want to stick around for too long. But the female that I have now, she is totally down with it. She'll just sit there and chill out while you're fishing. She's actually just even more well-behaved than a dog would be.
Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have brought it up. Your screen is still, you can't see us, right?
Can't see it.
What would you do if I told you that you have new competition in the fishing world? He's on the show right now. Mitch has just brought his cat into the video. I don't think Mitch took any tackle tips from you, but I think he took filming tips. So there is potential we could have a little bit of a competition going here.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Well, cat versus cat. Let's see it in the next video.
Mitch, why don't you tell Ricky what you've got there, because he can't see you.
Yeah.
Opie's a machine. Like, he's been talking a little smack probably against Pickerel and Archie.
Yeah.
He's ready to go, like super mellow. Like, he'll just chill here. I don't know how much he's into fishing, but he wants to party.
Where's the shot, eh?
Nasal. He can have a fish off.
Yeah. I definitely recommend starting them off ice fishing. It's a little easier.
Mitch, I don't know about you, but your cat looks like he's more into fish burgers than he is fish.
Yeah, that's okay.
I can see why he's probably pretty chillax. He doesn't look like he's very mobile.
No, he's just a happy cat. That's the most mellow cat you'll ever see.
What's he pushing, 10 or 12?
Oh, no, maybe 8. The camera adds like 4 pounds per cat.
Oh, well, in my case, it adds 400.
Aaron's going to be mad at you for calling your cat fat now.
Well, if I'm lucky, Aaron's not watching, right? No, I don't know. I'll have to check back later and see.
She brought in the...
Worse things have happened on this show already. We're only a couple months in, and worse things have happened. Don't worry. Dino's checking in. Dino says he really enjoys Rikkles' videos more than most guys' videos. Most guys' videos suck, is what he says. I actually got to see Dino last night. It was good seeing you last night, buddy.
I got to see him a couple of weeks ago for about 5 seconds as he drove by a bridge and said hello to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned he saw it. He's such a good guy. He's always good for a laugh.
Yeah.
It's funny. We actually got Colton is shocked Mitch brought his cat. And yeah, Jesse, I would agree with you. Much lighter without the beard. And yeah, Aaron is on the show.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Mitch, can you see what Aaron just said?
No, I can't see nothing. He's probably going to fight for you.
Well, no, I think it's directed towards you. I think she said he's not the fat one. I think she was comparing the two of you in the picture.
No, I think she's talking about Finnegan, the other cat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sounds a little less hurtful.
Finnegan won't even step on grass. Like, if you let him on the deck and he goes down and touches grass, he's over it. He's back in the house.
See, the sensitive liberal fisherman that I am, I thought she was calling me fat. And then I just tried putting it on you. I didn't realize you had another cat.
No, she might have done that.
or she's using the other cat as an excuse. I mean,
Oh,
who knows? Dino is saying, Rikkles, that you were in his spot. That's why he hollered out to you, though. How do you feel about that?
It's a good spot.
It is a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Was it one of these? Yeah, he went by. Ricky!
No, it was more like a, hey, Ricky. And I was like, oh, hey, Dinos. And then he was gone.
Yeah, the Flying Greek does have a tendency to just kind of appear and disappear. It's weird how that dude maneuvers himself around the province.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into product review. It's a cool tool. I want to see, what did you bring? You brought the Sharpall.
Yeah, so this is a tool that I use almost every fishing trip. Hopefully you guys can see it. I can't see if my screen is pointed at it. But it comes in a case like this. It's metal. Actually kind of looks like a flashlight. I've confused many people that think that's a button, but it's not. But you unscrew that part, and it's got a knife sharpener on it. And definitely use that for the fillet knife and all that. Screw that part off, and then you got a hook sharpener on it. It's got a little groove on it, like diamond grit sharpening tool. So it sharpens up the point of your hook really well. And it's very important to have sharp hooks out there if you don't want to lose as many fish.
It looks like you could use it as a weapon of mass destruction on some level there too. That thing's pretty crude.
It's metal. You could definitely bonk a fish or two with it if you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Bleed that thing out. Yeah. What? Where did you find that one from, Ricky?
That is on Amazon. I think it was right around $30. Maybe it's cheaper now. I'm not sure, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. It's all about the importance of that sharp hook. Mitch, I'll guarantee you don't have that in your tackle box, do you?
No, I probably order one or see. Maybe one of our local guys has one. I just gotta make the trips, But times are so busy right now. Some people are super busy, so I don't know. Hopefully I can make it into my local shop, take a quick look, but if not, I'm going straight to Amazon.
Yeah, I try to shop local, but it's really hard when it shows up right at your door. You don't have to work for it, right? It makes it almost too easy.
Exactly, yeah. I try and shop local as well, but there's just some convenient things on there that you can't find in a local shop that you need to order online.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that specialty stuff that they probably wouldn't move a whole lot of, right? Which, I mean, what's the point in having dead inventory on your shelf at the end of the day?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I have the sharpener on the lanyard, and I'm going to be honest, I never use it. I should probably be better with hook sharpening, but I don't recall the last time I sharpened a hook. Maybe that's why I suck.
I've had people think that I'm joking when I say, "Oh, I lost a fish because my hooks weren't sharp." No, it's serious. You definitely want to keep your hook sharp.
How do you feel about barbed versus barbless? Let's put you on the spot.
I'm fine with barbed, to be honest. It's all about the person handling the fish. Yeah, if you have a good net and you have pliers and you know how to take a hook out without just tearing it out of their mouth, barbed hooks are not really that much more harmful.
Yep.
There are places that I go where you can't use barbed hooks. I'll fish the parks or something like that, and you have to use barbless, and I lose a lot more fish. That's just the truth of it.
Yeah, it's a different style of fishing altogether, right?
There's people who claim, "Oh no, if you hold the rod down, you won't lose those fish ever," but you're going to lose the odd fish that jumps in the air with a barbless hook.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you. Well, last night in your 5 questions, you did a page like. We had you pick a number between 1 and 450. You picked number 227. I've got the name. What are you giving away this week, Ricky? You've got a prize for them.
All right. Well, I have this Rikkles Fisher hat right here, so I will send that off to whoever won it.
That's amazing. So you picked 227. Mitch, do you know who number 227 was? I bet you don't.
Nope.
It wasn't you.
I know.
How does that make you feel?
Just the token sidekick.
The token sidekick.
I know I don't win anything.
Well, I'll tell you who did win it, and he's actually, I've seen this dude win stuff before. Number 227 was Mr. Scott Nadeau. So, Scott, congratulations. You won a Rikkles Fisher hat, and they actually look awesome. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to have to get one from you. What's that?
I said I hope he enjoys it.
Will you custom sign it for him?
I could do that if you want.
Well, Scott, I think you were on here earlier. If you're still on here, make sure you reach out to Rikkles. Yeah, Scott's on here. He's pretty stoked. And we're going to get that shipped out to you. And then you can post a picture of it. Check it out. Thanks for donating that to the show. That's going to be fun. Appreciate that giveaway.
You bet. Yeah.
I'll get my kickback on the flip side, right? That's how these fishing shows work.
I'll give you a discount on your hat.
Yeah, double the price.
Double the price, yeah.
You still can't see us, right? Because Mitch is laughing at you right now.
No, it's all frozen on my end. I'm just talking to a blank screen.
So again, I feel like I'm putting you on the spot. I know that you manage some pages on Facebook. I want to get your opinion on how you feel when you see someone asking about fishing regulations or if something's open.
Well, I delete it because I do not think that people should be asking strangers on the internet for fishing regulations. Yeah,
I love that answer.
I think it's completely pointless and not very thoughtful, we'll say, as a nice way of saying it, to rely on strangers that if you read some of the stuff on the pages, that you can tell that there's jokes going on, there's truthful people, there's people lying. It's just the way the internet works. It's how it will always work. So why not go to the actual legitimate source and get the regulations there?
Absolutely. And I mean, especially this year, we've seen a few changes in the regulations. I would agree with you. I think some people are kind of making a joke of it, but at the end of the day, it's getting a little bit old.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you just get rid of it right off the bat probably helps save a lot of grief, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What is
I'm
your
not,
go-to for the regulations? Are you a PDF guy, or are you a pack it in your backpack kind of guy?
Both, if I can. I try and have the paper copy in the vehicle, and then if I need to double check something out on the water, I always have a PDF version on my phone as well.
Yeah, and that's great. One thing I've noticed is I used to like to use iFish quite a bit. I would always cross-reference it. Mitch is shaking his head. Mitch, why are you shaking your head?
iFish and what's that other one?
I know what you're talking about.
Pardon?
Alberta.
Wild, Alberta or something.
My wild no, it's not my wild Alberta. There is another page out there though that's not a regulations page. It states that it is, but it's never correct.
Yeah, those two, you should always have a copy from the government. I keep paper, same as Ricky, paper in the trucks. I'll throw paper in my backpack. I have the PDFs on my phone because regs are always good for starting a fire too, so you might as well have them.
Absolutely, yeah.
You'd rip the back pages out to start a fire if you gotta eat something. A fresh brookie on the fire is always delicious.
Sure.
Well, we're Ford drivers, Mitch. So I mean, technically, you brought the fire paper with you. That's what a Dodge driver would tell you, right? I mean, you're an ex-Dodge driver.
No, my Dodge was in way worse condition than my Ford, but I've got one of everything. Like I got rid of the Dodge, but I got a Chevy, Ford, and the Dodge is gone now. But we got one of everything. Actually, we have a Jeep too. So
I'm a Chevy guy.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, if it gets you to the river or creek, does it really matter?
No, it doesn't. As long as it's 4x4.
Doesn't matter at all. What oh man, I forgot what it was. Oh, your stance on the licenses. Now, it's split with everyone 50-50. Do you pack it with you or do you have it on your phone? I pack it with me because I can't seem to get a clear agreement from people on it.
You are good now. They have a scanner to scan your phone off your Alberta realm if you have the Alberta realm, which you should get that Alberta realm out, but it's a good backup. But I suggest keeping a paper one always because as soon as you give them your phone, they can go through it pretty much. There's no legislation saying they can't.
Yep. What about you, Rikkles?
I'm always carrying a paper copy in my wallet, and I always have my wallet with me. So I have set it up on the Alberta Realm app before with last year's license. I'll probably do it again just in case. It's obviously a great second backup to have.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always get worried my phone, I'm going to be fumbling around to find it. And I know up till probably, in the last year, I mean, if they showed up and you didn't have a paper license, it was trouble, man. And obviously it depends on who's going to check you, but
yeah, that's the officer's discretion for sure.
Yeah. Paper license is a paper. You should always have it on you.
I would agree. Yeah. Well, for I mean, I don't know what you're like, Rikkles, but for me, I mean, I'll usually fish 2 or 3 provinces in a year, so to have paper backups in one specific spot in my bag just makes life a lot easier because I have a tendency not to find anything when I need it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I haven't got to fish too many provinces. I've got to fish BC a lot when I was younger in the oceans for salmon. And then I got to fish in Phoenix once, but that was about it.
What? Phoenix, so mostly bass?
I was fishing canals, so I was catching mostly carp, but I did catch one little bass, my only largemouth bass.
Yeah. That would
Yeah,
actually be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind hearing more about that one day.
that's actually the very first video I made on my channel was in Phoenix. Pretty cringy, actually.
Just back when you were a rook.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting a little bit better now, starting to, anyways.
Well, I guess I know what I'm going to go back and check out. Where can people find your YouTube channel at?
At Rikkles Fisher, Rikkles Fisher. It probably says on the bottom there too.
Yep, your
Yeah.
name's on there. Why
Yeah,
do you go by Rikkles?
Why do I go by Rikkles?
Yeah.
Well, Rikkles was just a nickname I had in high school. A couple people called me it, and then as I got older, and you need to fill in just a random name on something. I always just thought of Rikkles right away. So when I decided I was going to make a YouTube channel, I just used the nickname and added Fisher on the end of it. So it's kind of like a name.
Why not? I think that's cool. I mean, my nickname in high school, I can't put on screen or live TV. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of jealous of it. Mitch, what was your nickname growing up?
Gumby. I'm serious. If you go back and look at one of my first pages, Gumby 1313. At one point, I was the most watched channel for an outdoor channel on YouTube in Canada. I got an award and everything. If you go back and look at that channel, Gumby 1313, I got 4x4 hunting and fishing on that.
Oh, nice.
Was Pokey in any of your episodes?
Oh, they came and they left.
Gumby, eh? I think that might have to stick again because, I mean,
that's old school.
I filled out.
You filled out.
I'm not so skinny and I can't flex like I used to be able to.
Filled out or shrunk. I mean, I guess it's all open to interpretation.
I'm not that old. I'm not shrinking yet, Todd.
Not like me.
I'm not 76.
Neither am I, but according to Marcy, I'm shrinking. More space for me. Colton's got a question here for us. What's your opinion on the headwaters this time of year? I found more fish downstream than upstream, which is different from last year, but there was more water. Rikkles, you go first. You want me to repeat that?
Yeah, sure. Can you repeat that?
I went a bit fast, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
He's asking for opinion on headwaters. I found more fish downstream than upstream, which is different from last year, but there was more water.
This time of year, I find that they're actually moving a little bit more in the slower water of the pool. I'm not sure what he quite means by headwater. I'm guessing like the start of the run.
Yep.
So this time of year, because the water temperatures are so cold, they're actually moving around in the slower moving water, trying to feed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I would definitely target first.
Okay, Mitch, any input?
Yeah, the water conditions are so much different this year. We had a lot more snow last year. Like even going out and doing the bear bait this weekend, like me and Aaron checked it 2 weeks ago, and we had the same amount or less snow a month earlier this year. So we don't have that much water running off and stuff. And I always seem to think like trout are always going to go to their holding holes right now, like wintering holes. So they're always going to be in the deeper water. And it's just because that water temperature is warmer, the lower you get down, because you're not going to get that frost from the ground and everything. Once they get below that frost level, they're going to have warmer water, and that's where they're going to stay, more oxygen and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Rikkles, what have you found, like with your stream that you fished so far this year? Have you found the water levels are lower or about average for what they normally are?
It depends where you go, because there's certain parts of the rivers and creeks that are have more snow melt going into them right now. So those parts, they'll be a little bit higher and murkier, but then there's like usually closer to the beginning of the stream where it starts, it's the lower clear water.
Right. Yeah. I've actually noticed we've been fishing the bow the last couple of nights, and I can tell you a few of the spots that we've fished, it's the lowest I've seen it in probably the 5 or 6 years I've been fishing it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Which is, we're talking like side channels that have no water flowing through them at all, whereas again, I haven't seen it for years, so it's interesting to kind of wonder what is going on for us down here or what's about to happen, because it's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not a good thing if the temperatures are going to be really high this year, and we got lots of warm days, and we start off with a low season like this. It's not a good thing for our rivers. So we definitely need all that snowpack in the mountains to start coming down here soon.
Well, let's hope it starts to happen. Colton's actually saying as well, he's experiencing that it's slow. Bobby's giving me the gears. Bobby, I kind of had that coming. Fishing the bow and no invites. It's always an open invite, but since you blocked me on Facebook after last week's episode, we'll just have to chat after the show. But Bobby's upset because I told him to get his rear in the shop and make me a fishing rod. I don't know, Ricky, if you saw the episode last week. Bobby's going to be building a rod for the show. We're going to raffle it away for charity. Are you aware of that?
I did see that. Yeah, that's awesome. He makes some awesome stuff.
What are you going to do if you win that? Are you going to find a way to cast in a different method with that new fly rod?
No, I'll probably stick to the normal fly fishing methods. I don't have nothing fancy for those for fly fishing. Stick to
you and I both. You and I both.
Fly fishing.
Yeah. Well, Ricky, you're not in the running for this, but we're going to talk about it for a couple minutes anyways. The 2021 charity fish on. So for anyone that hasn't gone over to the page and submitted their like for the next 8 competitors, you still have till next Friday. Mitch, have you seen the number of likes and comments we're getting in that page for competitors?
Yeah, some of them are just blowing up. Like I did a quick scan the other day. I'm like, holy, it's getting up there. And like, that's awesome. Like, this is going to be an awesome event this year. It's going to be a must watch. Like, there's going to be so much good footage coming in from these people. Fishes getting caught from different areas of Canada.
Yep. And some amazing charities that they're competing for, which is going to be extra special. I'm looking forward to that. Ricky, if you had one tip for a competitor that's going to experience what it's like to be able to compete in a fishing competition, what would it be?
It's going to be kind of a lame tip, but just make sure to keep the fun in it, because fishing competitions can get very intense, and it just takes the fun out of it sometimes. So just have fun. That's number one.
Yeah. You call it lame, I call it important.
Yeah.
and the reason why is because we do a little bit of a wrap up at the end of the show. And my partner, I see you already checked in. I won't bring you on yet, Adam, but Adam wants to come in and give you the gears after the show, so be afraid.
Ooh.
But that's not a lame tip at all. And the reason why I can say that is, when these competitions heat up, it is important to remember to have fun, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. Obviously, you want to win, but having fun is the most important. And we don't want Greg Rice to be upset and cry. We know it's going to happen.
He cries.
He does. He does. And we just got to go easy. What's that?
He's a very tender fella.
Tender.
Yeah. But I've only met him once, but when I saw him, he was kind of like leaning on my shoulder a bit, and I was like, it's okay. Like, we're going to catch some.
Well, Captain Tender is watching the show because he's actually saying on here he's hoping Adam doesn't get mad when he smokes him.
I'm busting as you know what. He's a great guy, great angler. Same as Adam.
Do you know what? Let's give him an advantage. I know 4 of us is a little bit awkward.
Oh.
But Adam gets put on the spot because why not? Adam, you didn't see it coming, and it's okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
Hey, Ricky, how you doing, brother?
Adam, so I'm guessing he's here now.
How you doing, Ricky?
Good. How about you, Adam?
I'm doing good, man. Sorry I didn't get up there for burbot, but we'll fish at some point this year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got to get out this summer.
And Greg, you just keep running your mouth. We'll see what happens.
You like that what Mr. Tender has to say?
Well, he is a pretty tender guy. Like Mitch said, he was leaning on his shoulder. I remember when I met him on the boat, he was kind of like, following me in the dark real close, like, there's coyotes howling. Do you think we'll get some fish? And I was like, Greg, just kind of stay a little bit away, man. Cast.
Now, I know what Greg is thinking, and a lot of the competitors are thinking that we're giving Adam a competitive advantage. But one thing nobody knows is once we narrow down the final 8, which will be 10 competitors overall, we actually have 2 episodes towards the end of May to talk about the competition where everyone will have a chance to come on the show. And I mean, Adam, are you feeling threatened?
I'm feeling threatened by Paisley. She's got so many likes, it just makes me feel upset a little bit myself.
Yep.
But other than that, I'm excited to see these girls. Like, Tash has got some likes on there. I see Diane in there. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Ricky,
I always
if
feel
you...
threatened by ladies. I don't know.
Well, I get outfished by my chick all the time, man. I'm the first to admit it.
Yeah, but I've seen you fish.
Barely.
That's why I didn't enter, is because I wanted to watch all the shenanigans going on. It's going to be fun to watch.
Ricky, if you were a betting man, who would you bet on, Mr. Tender or Mr. Turnbull?
I'm going to go with Mr. Turnbull.
Oh, man, that's so nice. You know,
What can I
I
say?
actually have a really funny story about Sturgeon and Ricky. One time Ricky comes down, he's like, you know, it's looking like it's going to be kind of rough weather, Adam. Like, should I still come? I was like, oh, yeah, it never rains here. No, you're good, man. Don't worry about it. Comes down. We're literally fishing for like an hour. I fell asleep because I don't really sleep much. He pokes me. He's like,
always fall asleep.
yeah, I did that with you too, right?
When Aaron came down, he slept for half the day.
It's because I stay up all night. But I'm like, oh, it won't rain. So Ricky's like, yeah, Adam, looks like a storm's coming. I was like, oh, yeah, that looks pretty bad. Next thing we know, craziest storm
One of
of
the
the year.
worst storms ever.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I know this show isn't about Adam, but it just made me realize I have a picture of him sleeping on almost every trip we do.
I take my opportunities when I can. It's funny. Right after I woke up from the nap with Mitch, Mitch is like, here, want to try this? Snap his rod. I was like, oh, sorry, man.
That big weight just got the tip on the swing and just boom.
Yeah.
That was the first time that rod was casted like 3 times.
I mean, I don't know about Rikkles, but I'm more concerned that Adam was just talking about having a nap with Mitch. I mean, that's...
No, that's after we woke up.
Oh.
Aaron had to watch the dog.
If it wasn't for Aaron, we probably would have been screwed.
Yeah.
Well, I am starting to feel like Aaron is probably the glue, as Marcy's my glue, man. If it wasn't for her...
Yeah, one time I was pike fishing, and Adam brought me some herring, and I caught a really nice pike on it. So that's why I had to pick him as the winner.
Oh, so he's getting sympathy votes for bait.
A little bit of a sympathy vote, but I'm rooting for him.
Well, we'll have a little chat about this. Adam and I have officially booked our trip. Fingers crossed with everything going on. Yeah, we're heading east in May, right?
I'm excited to see more dance moves, Todd.
Thanks for the reminder. Actually, I got to order up the mankini, so I'll get on that.
Maybe I'm not excited to see them then. I changed my mind.
All right, everyone, we're running out of time here. Rikkles, thanks so much for joining the show and allowing the other 2 crazies to join. I mean, 3 crazies. It was a blast having you on, man. I've been really looking forward to it. I hope you had fun, and we appreciate you donating a hat as well to Scott. I'm sure we'll see Scott wearing that around very soon. And in wrapping up the show, next week's guest, I say this about every week's guest, I just realized. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't heard of him. Trevor Davies.
Very cool.
He's got some sick dance moves too.
You see his new boat? Let's talk about that.
Can do dance moves.
I mean, we'll have a dance-off next week.
Oh, that's what I want to see.
Dance Revolution.
Do it.
All right, everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next week's episode of On the Other Line Canada. This week, I'm going to click End Broadcast, and we'll see how well it works.
Do it better.
Still live.
Oh my God. That's 2 weeks in a row. I'll tell you what, man, if that did not get a shitload of excitement at the end of the broadcast, I don't know what would. And Ricky couldn't even see what happened there.
No, I couldn't see anything. This whole broadcast was so weird.
I wasn't planning on bringing Adam in.
You're
and I
live
give him...
still.
Oh, no, trust me, I made sure.
It says you're live.
No,